Let's talk about Jordan Mason.
Maybe.
So we've been like begging Kyle Shanahan to play this guy all year. And Kyle, you know how he is. He's like, you can't get on the field unless you've been in his system for 4 years or something. But all of a sudden, at the end of this game against the Saints, he was like the last active running back standing, and he had to play him. And he was good. They put like 11 defenders right in the box, and Jordan Mason was like, looked like Mike Allstott in there. Looked nice to me. Do you think they're going to keep using him, or are they going to call up Tevin Coleman and give the carries to him? If they keep using Jordan Mason, do you think he could actually improve the offense?
I think he can keep the offense sustainable. I'm not going to go as far as improve it, but yeah, the way you said he was absorbing all those shots, the dude was like the magnet, just attracting all the metal. And it was just like, dude, you guys can't stop me. It looked great. And it was like, finally, Kyle, where has this been? So to me, I think Jordan Mason has a chance to prove the 49ers right and wrong at the same time if they actually do run him and not Tevin Coleman, which fingers
crossed. Or Ty Davis Price. Oh, my God.
Or Ty Davis Price. Look, if you get Ty Davis Price, some carries is cool, but let's get Jordan Mason like 8 to 12 or something like that. Then we'll be solid. But like I said, they'll have them the chance to prove him right or wrong. They'll prove if Jordan Mason looks sweet out there, they'll prove the 49ers right in terms of this is why we traded Jeff Wilson, y'all. Yeah. Shut up. You can prove him wrong, but if on the same though, on the same side of that, if he does look good, he'll make the 49ers look wrong. And it's like, wait, why didn't you run Jordan Mason earlier then? Like when you had Jeff Wilson, and then all of a sudden it's thinking like, did we
when
actually
quality control was telling you, begging you.
So it's like, meanwhile, you're over there running Tevin Coleman out, and I know he had that touchdown, but it's not like he was doing anything else like special. But if he does play well, then great. Jeff Wilson trade looks good, but then why didn't you run him earlier? Yeah. And I guess the counter on that would be like, well, he needed time to get ready, which I doubt because all he was doing was special teams. So to me, it's like it can look right and wrong at the same time. So if he does look well, great, run him. Do not make it be Tevin Coleman, but for sure, if he does look well, that's what it's going to look like.
Yeah, I actually think Jordan Mason can improve the offense. I don't know that they're going to keep giving him the ball. Part of me feels like Kyle Shanahan is going to call up Tevin Coleman. Yeah, I mean, it seems to me like they do have good running backs, but Jordan Mason is different than all of them. He's a legit short yardage specialist. I know he can probably do more than that, but I feel like this running game, going back to last year, hasn't had a short yardage back. Jeff Wilson wasn't one. I didn't think he was one. Elijah Mitchell, I didn't think was one. I mean, down the stretch last year when they needed 1 yard, they gave it to Debo. Debo was their short yardage back. And that's why I thought this year they drafted Ty Davis Price. I felt like they were saying, okay, Debo, we don't want to use you to pick up 1 yard because you're too important. We're going to be giving you all this money. So here's Ty Davis Price. He's our short yardage back. But he didn't do well at that in that job in preseason. You happen to get this other guy who's good at it and did it in college. And now it's like the Niners are struggling to score in the low red zone. Why? Well, you're handing the ball off to Christian McCaffrey between the tackles, and your offensive line isn't particularly big. So maybe now you might score some more touchdowns inside the 3-yard line as opposed to, it's 4th and goal from the 2. All right, let's kick field goal. I don't know. It actually may unlock a portion of their offense that they haven't had going back to last year, but that actually gives Kyle the credit. I still think they're going to play Tevin Coleman instead. Tevin Coleman.
I'm going to be disgusted if they played Tevin Coleman. Do not.
Did you have a coach like that in college or high school that's like would not call up the really talented freshman just because, even though the senior that played the same position was whack?
Oh yeah.
What's up with coaches like that?
Going on, but I would. Yeah. I think did Tevin Coleman play special teams when he got called up a little bit? I think he did. I don't know if I'm tripping. I know he has that capability though, because then if they're gonna run Jordan Mason, they might have to like cut him off a little bit of that special teams usage. Because the last thing they're going to need is, great, now Mason's out. You got freaking Christian McCaffrey over here with his knee nagging him. Who else are going to run? Ty Davis Price, Tevin Coleman like that? It's not like they're reliable to that degree.
Right. Anyway, I like the idea of the Niners actually adding a 225-pound running back who can pick up 2 yards when you need 2 yards. I mean, the Niners' short yardage back now is Jimmy Garoppolo.
We've been saying
the quarterback sneak is their best play when they need.
But when they had that play, they didn't use it though. Last week,
I know. On fourth, that's the thing. Like, why
do coaches run the shotgun when 1 yard to go?
Exactly.
It's not Kyle Shanahan thing either. It's not.
What is the Niners' go-to play with 1 yard to go? I mean, on 4th and goal from the 1, 1st and goal from the 1. What is the Niners' go-to play? Hand off to McCaffrey. quarterback sneak or from the 2. What is their go-to play? It should be handoff to Mason. Easy. But it hasn't been. Maybe it will be now. Because right now, when they're at the 2-yard line, it's like that's the worst place the Niners offense is. Give them 70 yards. They're good. 2 yards, they're like, oh, damn it. Let's take a false start, move back, get some space.
But to me, it's like you literally ran the worst play, especially formation out there in shotgun. I feel like when you get shotgun, you're going 1 to go, you're pretty much conceding we're not making this. Like, I really think that's so stupid. A handoff, a throw, or, I mean, maybe a throw, but if it's not a play action, if you're not looking somewhere, like, even if it is just, like, a handoff to McCaffrey, but if it's a straight up, just, like, I'm just going to hand off from under center to McCaffrey, so he goes in with the head of steams, we're fine. But if it's a shotgun handoff, I'm tired of seeing that. It almost never works.
Doesn't that kind of show you that Kyle's searching for something? Like, you should have a bread and butter play that you're confident in that's worked a lot from the 1-yard line. And the Niners don't. They have the quarterback sneak. That's it.
And then I'm wondering if Kyle's like not overthinking, or I'll try to outthink the room here and be like, they're expecting the quarterback sneak if I run him again. And it's like, Kyle, sometimes, if they know it's coming and yours is better, just do it. Sometimes it works. All right. And it's like, for once, the guy who
or hand off to Juszczyk. You have the highest paid fullback in the league, and you're afraid to run the ball from the 1-yard line. You got Kyle Juszczyk, Jordan Mason. You should be able to run the ball behind Trent Williams and Aaron Banks for 1 yard. And the Niners haven't even tried that this year. Haven't even tried it. So I'd like to see that. And I think that's where, if we put enough pressure, we might get Kyle Shanahan to hand the ball to Jordan Mason on the 1-yard line. I'd like to see them do it once before the playoffs start, because that could really be a game changer. Oh my God, we have someone who can just score a touchdown, and it's not Jimmy Garoppolo. That's it. It's nice. I remember when we were kids, you'd have running backs who would just jump over the pile. Marcus Allen used to do that. That makes shit really easy. Oh, he just jumped over the touchdown. No creativity required. Hey, can you jump over the pile? Yes, thanks. I'm not saying Jordan Mason can do that, though. But maybe
I think on the lasting point of Mason, he's a little more elusive than people think, or at least we kind of give him credit. He has some shiftiness to him, so he's more than just like the bumbling, stumbling guy that Chris Berman would say. He got a little shiftiness to him, a little quick.
He runs upright, but I feel like he does a good job of turning his shoulders, and you don't really get full frontal hits on him. And he does a good job of like falling forward for the next 2 yards or spinning off of it for the next 3 yards. Mm-hmm. Like you're not going to get him for negative yards a lot.
Yeah, he's kind of tanky.
Yeah, man. The collisions, I don't know how many carries you can give him a game, because, man, those collisions are huge. But
I'm wondering how much collisions. I mean, not collisions. How many carries you're gonna give McCaffrey now that he's his knees bugged? I mean, what are you gonna do? Like, practice him once this week, right? So he's not gonna practice today. I thought he was gonna practice today.
We'll see. I don't trust the Niners
7 carries,
reporting on
5 run 10 routes.
On certain players, they'll be like, yeah, this is exactly what's wrong. He's got this. Here's how long is it? With McCaffrey, they're like, it's vague irritation. He's day to day. They're not going to tell us. It's either it could be something big, small. I don't know, because if it's big, it makes them look bad. So they're not just going to announce that. Hey, guess what? Everyone, that injury prone running back that everyone said we gave up too much for, he's injured. Go write your story. Do you want some quotes about how we messed up? Like, they're not going to do that. And I'm not saying that it's that bad, but if it were, we wouldn't know until.
Dude, if it were,
they wouldn't tell us.
A debacle. It's already bad right now that the Mitchell's down, because it was looking, style offense was looking great with him back as a spell. And now, I mean, again, Jordan Mason can close that gap or even replace it. But that would be a debacle. It would be almost a disaster.
I think what's disheartening about the McCaffrey trade is that he really is good, man. He's good. Yeah. You saw that route he ran that should have been a long 50-yard. He smoked that linebacker. But the Niners don't have the quarterback to take advantage of that route. So you can't even call that play anymore.
Kind of sucks that he calls it. You got to almost use it as a distraction.
Yeah, and it sucks that he's averaging fewer yards per carry here than he was in Carolina. And it's not because he's not good. It's just what I mean, not to come toot my own horn here. I just said that I didn't think he would solve all their problems. And so far he's here, he's good, and he's not solving all their problems because they're bigger than him. And maybe he will eventually. But dude, I don't know. Kyle, you got to figure this out. The red zone, that's not where McCaffrey's going to fix that for you. That's where Jordan Mason's going to fix that for you. Mm-hmm. So, I don't know. Kyle's got to figure out how to use his players. Ivan, biggest threat equals Kyle Shanahan, Kiara Mia, or whatever. Man, Kiara Mia catches strays. Man.
So rude.
Imagine all the things we don't know about Jimmy Garoppolo. That's just the one that got out.
I don't want to know. That's the thing.
I don't want to know.
I want to know. It's all right. I might like him better if that's the case. I don't know. Some things I don't know.
Ethan M says, we keep asking what if Miami destroys SF, but what would it mean if for SF if they destroy Miami? How differently will they be seen?
I'll be wondering if they can do it again the next week.
If a team gets destroyed this weekend, they're going to be looked at as, frauds. I'm not sure that either team's going to get destroyed. This could be a pretty close game. I don't know.
Be a good game.
Yeah.
Be tough
but
to
ultimately, it's an inter-conference game. I think you could almost argue that the next 3 games are more important to the Niners. Tampa, that's a team they could face in the playoffs. Seattle, same. Washington, same. And so I don't know. This is a very interesting game because of McDaniel versus Kyle, and
I think that's where both coaches are going to try to amp each other up or amp the teams up, try to get them locked in. It's look, this is a good team, and we're facing a bunch of adversaries, a bunch of old coaches, old teammates. Yeah. So you have all the motivation in the world.
Don't you think it's also a creativity contest between Kyle and Mike, who can put out the most?
Yeah, they might want to show out, try to see who can really scheme. So that's why I think we might see Kyle's best, because he's going to be I can't let Mike outdo me because he's going to look bad. And if
there's a lot of pressure on Kyle.
He gets outdone where he's going against an average to below average defense versus McDaniels against an elite defense on the road. Oh God, this is going to be all bad. But I expect them to look. They should look good against them.
Also, consider D'Amico. He's on the hunt for a head coaching job, and his resume is looking stellar right now. If he shuts down, he got smoked by Andy Reid. So if he shuts down Mike McDaniel, his stock goes through the roof. At least temporarily until the playoffs, but this would be big for D'Amico.
Slims them. That's perfect.
Yep.
Someone's been able to do it.
Jesus says, "Viva Mexico."
Yeah.
Yeah.
They make it.
Jason says, "I've been getting in arguments all week long about how Jimmy Garoppolo isn't the same compassion younger Montana. Am I crazy? Isn't in the same. I don't know.
Am I crazy the one thinking he's not a Hall of Fame quarterback?
Okay,
it's because of all the stupid comparisons. So he has as many wins as Steve Young and Joe Montana. Now, whatever that stat is, that's what's been going around, which I think transitions nicely right now.
I said this about Twitter last week. It's just a bunch of I'm just saying arguments and what about this arguments. And so you throw up this stat and people go, I'm just saying, bro. It's okay, what are you saying? Are you saying, because those guys are Hall of Famers. Are you saying that Jimmy Garoppolo is a Hall of Famer? No, you're not saying that. So what are you saying? Nothing. You're saying nothing. It's just Jake Plummer was 40-18 with the Broncos. No one remembers that. No one cares because he never won a game that mattered. Has Jimmy Garoppolo ever won a game that mattered? And yes, but was it because of anything he did? Maybe once or twice. Maybe once or twice, and it was in the regular season. So
never in the postseason.
He's not a Pro Bowler. He's not a Hall of Famer. He might get to the Pro Bowl this year. He might win the Super Bowl this year. But everything he's done so far in his career isn't that special. It's remarkable that he has this record to start his career. But he didn't play for 5 years or whatever. He was on the freaking bench. A lot of quarterbacks had to play early on bad teams. He didn't have to do that. So I think that's a big reason why. And then when the Niners were rebuilding, he missed the whole freaking year. Came back and had Nick Bosa. So I think he's gotten a little lucky here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He wasn't really a full-time starter until he was 28. And then by then he had a great defense. Just saying. Drippy dad. Do you think he's drippy? How drippy do you think he really is?
Well, he's got that clean-ass violet on his backdrop, so I agree he is.